Liebherr PR764 is the largest crawler tractor in the current Liebherr range as at the time of this review, and depending on configuration it has a weight of up to 53 tonnes. This version of the model is in the colours of Hilti, a construction company based in Liechtenstein. It comes in a standard Liebherr branded box with a nice photo on the cover, but there's no information about the real machine. Inside, the polystyrene trays are well designed with finger grips and marked top and bottom, so it's easy to get the model the right way up. And sitting in the tray, it's wrapped in some soft paper to protect the paintwork. There are no instructions provided with the model, but at the same time there's no assembly to do because it's complete out of the box. To protect the model during shipping, there are elastic bands on the crawler tracks, and the easiest thing to do is to cut those off. And there's also a bag that contains spare track links, which is a nice touch by NZG. Looking underneath, the basic shape of the underside is modelled well, and the transverse beam that connects the two track frames is modelled. The metal crawler tracks are very good, and the detail of the rollers on the track frame is really excellent. The cab detailing is very good, with realistic window seals, some very fine windscreen wipers and also lights. And the interior detail is good too. On the back of the body there are some nice metal grab rails, and the Hilti logo looks sharp. There are some more high quality graphics on the sides, including the website address, which is very small. The engine cover is also modelled well, with small handles and grab rails, and the grills are represented by graphics. At the back, the ripper assembly looks very convincing, with hydraulic hoses on the hydraulics, and the ripper has a very sharp tooth. The colour match on the main blade cylinders isn't quite right, but they are detailed and look good. And it's also nice that the main connection points on the blade assembly are made of friction rivets, which are unobtrusive. The big metal semi-U blade is a very nicely made part, with perforations at the top for visibility and anti-wear plates along the bottom edges. It's time to get dozing along on the test track, and there's too much stiffness in the tracks to roll on a smooth surface, and in fact they are fairly stiff. You can roll them quite well, but the mechanism has a lot of moving parts, so it's a bit stiff. And that does mean that even on a rough surface it's hard to get them to roll just by pushing the model along. However, in other respects they're really good. They are floating relative to each other with a transverse linkage, and you can see that here. And the track frames have working rollers both top and bottom, and the ones on the bottom are really intricate and made of a number of moving parts. So it's not so surprising that the tracks are not completely free rolling. The range of movement on the blade at the front is very good, although the cylinders are very stiff, so it does take a bit of effort to pose it how you want it. It raises to a good height, and also you've got lots of forward tilt possible on the blade as well. There's also another degree of movement possible, which is to tilt the blade slightly from left to right and vice versa, and that is very good too, and poses realistically on the model. So overall there is a lot of flexibility with the blade at the front and its many posing positions. Things are just as good at the back of the model, where the ripper assembly works very well and has got a good range of movement. You only need to be a little bit careful because that ripper tooth is sharp and will make a dent in your finest tabletop. Another nice feature is that the ripper shank is adjustable, so you can take out the plastic pin which secures it, and then you can pin it into one of 3 different positions, or you can even take the whole thing out completely. So let's pop it back in, and we'll set it so that there's a longer shank with the tooth able to rip deeper. And it's very easy just to line the holes up and pop the pin back in. There is another possibility which probably NZG has not intended collectors to use, and that is to take the cover off of the screw at the end of the blade mechanism and then unscrew the screw using a screwdriver. Now those covers did have some glue used on the review model, so it's really at your own risk if you want to go to the lengths of taking those covers off. However, once you've undone the screws on both sides, you can then free the blade mechanism from both crawler tracks, and that then gives you the chance to take the whole of the blade mechanism off of the main cylinders at the front. These are really quite stiff cylinders, so again you've got to be pretty careful as to how you do this so that you don't risk damaging the model. But if you do work carefully, you can then get in the position where the crawler tractor doesn't have its blade attached, and then it becomes a much better transport load because of its narrower width. You then have some other posing possibilities because it looks really good on a suitable sized low loader. So it's a good model as a load for heavy haulage collectors too. To summarise, this is really a very nice crawler tractor model from NZG. It's well made with some very good details, and the features are fine too. The Hilti colour scheme also provides some interest compared to the usual yellow. Overall, this is an easy model to highly recommend.